Target acquired. With the 20th pick, the Seattle Seahawks select Jaxon Smith-Njigba, wide receiver, the Ohio State University. Njigba set OSU's single-season receptions and receiving yards record back in 2021, but only played 3 games in 2022 due to a hamstring injury. Nonetheless, the slot-type speedster posted the best 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle times at this year's Combine and is now taking that skill set to Seattle. Back in studio with reaction, but first a grade. Pete Prisco, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, many considered the best receiver in this class, a little undersized, but we've seen undersized succeed in Seattle before. How do you like the pick?
Yeah, it's a good, solid pick. It's not a great pick. I thought Jordan Addison was the best receiver in this draft class. He's still available. I probably would have gone in that direction, or I might have gone for a different position. But I do like the idea when you look at how they're made up. They're going to start throwing the ball a little bit more. Metcalf is there. He's a good player. I think when you look at, Tyler Lockett, he's getting up in the years a little bit. So it makes sense. I like Smith-Njigba. Is he more than a slot receiver? That's the question. So I give it a B.
All right, it's a B from Pete, back in studio with the 2-time champ Bryant McFadden, our draft expert Ryan Wilson. Guys, taking a look at the first round here, always interesting when teams have multiple picks in that first round. You get one of the best corners in the draft, and you get one of the best wide receivers, depending on who you're asking in the draft. Let's go specifically here on Njigba. The fit makes sense. How do you like the need at this moment for Seattle?
I love it. They're a better football team right now than they were 2 hours ago on both sides of the ball. One is trying to stop the skill position player. The other is the skill position player who can absolutely ball out. Now, B-Mac, we only saw him for 3 games last season because of the hamstring, only had 5 catches. But the year before, Garrett Wilson and C.J. Stroud both told us at the Combine in the Super Bowl that Jaxon Smith-Njigba was the best wide receiver on that team that included Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, in Seattle, you got DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett, and I'm going to take this opportunity to apologize to Eugene Cyril Smith III.
Yeah.
He is their dude. They're getting him playmakers. They're going to be ready to go. And by the way, Jaxon Smith-Njigba only ran a 4.5. Yeah. Best 3-cone, best short shuttle out of everybody at the Combine.
Yeah. Not specific to this moment here with Njigba, but there's no pressure and expectation. Last year, Seattle snuck up on everybody. Not sneaking up on anybody when you look at the weapons they have on that offense. I know Njigba adds to it, but in a way, are we going to really find out if Geno is that guy for Seattle?
No question. I think he proved that last year when no one really believed that he can get the job done and sustain that level of production. He was able to do so, and now they continue to add talent around their quarterback. This move for Seattle, when you look at what they've done so far with their 2 first-round picks, it gives me the New York Jets vibes from a year ago when they went out and got Sauce and then Garrett Wilson, 2 guys that were big-time contributors to their success on the offensive-defensive side and really will add to their production moving forward. Looking at Witherspoon and now going to get Jaxon Smith-Njigba, 2 guys that I believe will be contributors as well. And they're loading a lot of talent around on both sides of the football. And one thing I will not ever question when regards to what Seattle does in the draft, because you look at the last few years, they have hit on the majority of their picks, and I expect the same thing based on what they've done so far tonight.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch that offense. We know there's talent across this entire league, but how about that division? It's going to be a whole lot of fun once again with Seattle reemerging as a real threat here and adding Jaxon Smith-Njigba. It was anything but linear, the career there at Ohio State. And we wish we could have seen more a season ago, but hamstrung he was, playing just 3 games. Now headed to Seattle to add to Geno Smith's offense.